You bought a house with my money. My name is Margaret Hill, and I never thought my own son would become the greatest heartbreak of my life. I am 68 years old, and I live in a quiet town in Ohio where the mornings smell like coffee and old oak trees. I worked for 42 years as a hospital cleaner. Not a nurse, not a doctor, just the woman who wiped blood off floors so others could save lives. I saved every dollar I could. I skipped vacations. I wore the same winter coat for 15 years. I did all that for one reason: my son, Daniel. Daniel was my only child. His father died when he was 5. From that day on, I lived for one dream: to give my boy a better life than I ever had. When Daniel grew up, he married a woman named Laura. She was beautiful, confident, and very smart. I tried to love her, but from the beginning, she treated me like I was invisible. Still, I kept quiet. I did not want problems. One evening, Daniel came to my small apartment. His face looked worried. "Mom," he said softly, "Laura and I found a house, a real one, a place where we can raise kids, but the bank will not give us a full loan." I already knew what was coming. "How much do you need?" I asked. Daniel hesitated. $200,000. That was almost everything I had saved. "That is my life savings," I whispered. "I know, Mom," he said, "but I promise I will pay you back. It will be in my name. It is our family home." I looked at my son. I saw the little boy who once cried when his shoes had holes. I trusted him, so I said yes. 2 weeks later, I transferred every dollar I had. After that, Daniel stopped calling as much. Months passed. I never got any paperwork, no proof, no receipts. Then one day, I went to visit the new house. What I saw broke my heart. The house was beautiful, big windows, a white fence, but on the mailbox was only one name: Laura Carter. Not Daniel Hill, not Margaret Hill, just her name. I walked inside slowly. Daniel was not home. Laura was sitting on the couch. "Where is Daniel?" I asked. "At work," she said, not looking up from her phone. I pointed to the mailbox. "Why is your name the only one on the house?" She smiled coldly. "Because it is my house." My legs felt weak. "My money bought this house," I said. She laughed. "You gave that money to Daniel. What he does with it is his choice." When Daniel came home, I confronted him. "You put the house in her name?" I asked. He avoided my eyes. "Laura wanted security," he said. "What about me?" I said. "That was my retirement, my safety." "You're overreacting, Mom," he replied. "You live fine." That was the moment I realized my son had used my love against me. Days later, my rent increased and I could not afford my apartment anymore. I called Daniel and asked if I could stay with him for a while. There was silence. Then he said, "Laura does not feel comfortable." That night, I slept in my car. The woman who cleaned hospital floors for 40 years had no home. I finally decided to fight back. With the last money I had, I hired a lawyer. We found the truth. Daniel told Laura the money was a gift. Laura convinced him to put everything in her name so I would have no legal claim. The court case lasted 3 months. Daniel sat on one side, I sat on the other. He would not look at me. When the judge asks why I gave the money, I said, I believed I was helping my family, not destroying myself. The judge ruled in my favor. The house was placed into joint ownership between me and Daniel. Laura lost her claim and left him 2 weeks later. One rainy evening, Daniel came to my small room. "I'm sorry, Mom," he said. "I was stupid." I looked at him and felt something strange. Not anger, not love, just peace. "I forgave you," I said, "but I will never trust you again." Today, I live in my part of that house. Daniel lives in the other half. We barely speak. But I sleep at night knowing one thing: I may be old, I may be alone, but I am no longer powerless.